I am fired up today because I love you and I am so I've been downloaded a message that I want to share with you today. If you are somebody sitting at home, everything feels uncertain, everything feels like it's totally out of control, and you're starting to wonder about your livelihood, your income, your business itself, like what am I going to do? Today I've got your back. But listen, I have to confess, I have a very different opinion and view based on what's going on out there in the marketplace. And we're going to talk about 3 things today that you can do to bulletproof your future, your business, if you're sitting at home and for the first time realizing maybe I should start an online business, maybe I should create a side hustle. We're going to talk about that too. So if we don't know each other, my name is Dr. Shannon Irvine. I help entrepreneurs up level their thinking so that they can create the business and life that they love, the impact that creates world changing. And right now we're in the midst of our coronavirus. I'm in this with you in this pandemic because we're at home. My family's at home. My kids are at home. And no school for 3 weeks. And we were about to launch. But here's the thing I know. I need to serve you right now. I need to support you right now. And I am so impassioned about teaching you to rise with resilience, teaching you to overcome the uncertainty, teaching you to, for such a time as this, scripture says, I need you to learn. I'm kind of talking at you, and I want to bring you close. I want you to be sitting across the desk from me, and I want to grab your shoulders with so much love and compassion and say, I know you're afraid. I know you don't know what's going to happen. I know everything is uncertain. I know. I'm feeling it too. I've had those moments. And at the same time, I know that this will pass. I know that good is intended. I know that we can step up and rise. So we're creating right now behind the scenes a free mini course that I'm going to deliver live to you. That's going to be, the title of it's going to be Rise, and it's going to be how to pivot in uncertain times. And we're going to be diving into learning resilience, learning legacy building, learning that this time is a gift. So, we had our first coronavirus here in Encinitas, and my kids are at home, and I have been hearing so much fear, so much uncertainty, so much panic. The evidence of people are going, and the news is not helping. It's creating this typical fight or flight system that we have. And as business owners, these are the times. I think back to 2008 when everything was going on with H1N1. And the market started doing what it was doing. Yet so many of the entrepreneurs that you look up to right now online started then. So many of your Amy Porterfields and James Wedmore's and Pat Flynn's, they all started at that time. Why? Because the market right now has a lot of people living in panic and fear. Today we're going to talk about rising. Today, we're going to talk about what mental resilience you need to lean into in order for this time to become powerful for your future. Because right now, your future is being created. Right now, if you're paralyzed, which fear paralyzes people, fear in and of itself is an automatic response to uncontrollable situations. Well, we're in an uncontrollable situations. So what do people do that rise above this, that have resilience? Now, this is one of the 3 things, like lean in. If you were across from me, literally, I'd have my hands on your shoulders and I would be squeezing you and saying, let this be the time that you choose to truly kill the ants, kill those automatic negative thoughts, kill those limiting beliefs, all the fear, because all that's going to do is paralyze you in the past to have you say, everything's going on around me, I have to press pause. What I'm telling you is I want you to say, everything is going on around me. I am the creator of my thoughts. I'm going to choose the thoughts that create my future, even when things are not in my control. Now, if you're an entrepreneur and you are wondering, like, what the heck do I do? How do I continue? I was about to launch. What do I do? So I'm just going to tell you what I was doing, what I'm doing here, and you can take it as some evidence of what I want to cover today. I was literally like ramping up for a launch. So I'm like, wait a minute. My number one priority, and I hope it's yours too, is to serve. It's to impact. Number one priority, it's to impact. So if my number one priority is to impact people, and I'm hoping and I'm assuming if you're in my tribe and you have a business or you're wanting to start a business, that would be your call too, then how does what I do, how can I serve people right now where they're at? So right now where everyone is at, I want to be able to serve you to create the resilience that you need. I want to be able to serve you to rise above the current circumstances, to learn to be the creator of your thoughts, to lean in. If you're in Epic Success Academy, I want you back in Module 1 ASAP. Like, I want you there. If you're not, like, I really want you to DM me and I need to get you in there. Like this Module 1, in fact, maybe I'll just spin off Module 1 for a single product just so that you can get in there. Because right now, managing your thinking really from a brain-based perspective, fear paralyzes your prefrontal cortex. You cannot think logically. That's why the loop's going. You're going and looking at the news. You're wondering what you're going to do. You're back on the loop of the news. You're back on what am I going to do? You're back on the thought of what if this impacts the economy? If that kind of patterning is going on for you, and if it is, you're normal. You're super, super normal. I was there. I know how to catch the loop and recognize the loop. And that's the beauty of the neurocoaching model, is that I catch them faster. And as you go through, and if you're an ESA student, you go through, you get more powerful in terms of catching those things, because all that is evidence that amygdala has been hijacked, and that's normal in these types of circumstances. So the first key that I really want for you so desperately, and I had to like shift my thinking and really slow down and say, okay, I'm afraid. What does this mean? It means that I think something's going to be taken away from me. In all honesty, think about that. So fear is this feeling that I can't control my circumstances, and ultimately is something going to be taken away from me, right? So resilience is not having the fear. So hear me, courage and resilience are two different things that we're going to talk about today, but they're things that you have 100% control over. So fear is an automatic response. I've been in fear over the last week. I'm sure you have too. We're human. It's a human response. It's a given response so that you run away from the tiger. All right. So it's natural that you would have moment or moments of fear. However, courage is what I want you to lean into. It's saying, yeah, I'm afraid. Now what? Yeah, I'm afraid. Let's go. Yeah, I'm afraid. Let's rise. What's next? How do I push in? How do I serve? How do I impact? How do I do the things that are going to make the biggest difference for my tribe, for my people? How can I love deeply and be super kind and show up generously so that I don't stay in fear? Because fear will create the future failure. Let me say that again. The fear, if you hold on to it, it's not bad to have it, but if you hold on to it, it's going to create your future failure. Now, fear that catapults courage, that catapults resilience, that allows you to rise in the midst of things being uncontrolled, to control the uncontrollable. Right now, I really want you to rise by controlling the uncontrollable. And what that is controlling, not controlling your thoughts, not trying to willpower your thoughts, not trying to say, I'm not going to be afraid, I'm not going to be afraid, I'm not going to be afraid. That's willpower. That doesn't work. It works for about that much long, and then you're back in the loop again. What I really want you to do is choose to be the creator of your thoughts. And you guys hear me say this a lot, but I'm going to continue to say it. It's such a simple statement, but in terms of brain science and neuropsychology, it's everything. It's gold. And right now, with everything going on, it's vital that you take the thoughts captive. You choose to have a pattern interrupt. You choose to reframe. And you choose in advance. We call this in the Epic Success Academy, DIA, decide in advance. So one of the big things that creates more fear is not having decision, right? You can't control the things you can't control. You can't control what the CDC is going to say. You can't control how long your kids are going to be home. Those are things you can't control. What you can control is your response to it and the thoughts that you choose. You decide in advance, you DIA. Those choices are going to be key, but it requires slowing down. It requires taking that thought captive. Those of you who are in ESA, you just take these fear thoughts through the mind matrix. You create the truth to rewire, and you listen to that rewire every time you move into fear. For those of you who are not, I really just want you to, of course, DM me, because I would love for you to be doing this work right now. It's the most powerful time for you to be doing this work. But really decide in advance today how you are going to react, what your choice is going to be. Not only do you need to be the creator of your thoughts, but being the business owner that steps up and is a leader during this time, that rises up and is a leader, is vital. Here is where the decide in advance really comes into play for you today. And for me. So understand everything that I'm speaking from, I literally was in the process of doing over this last weekend. I am creating a free mini course for you guys to be able to do what we're talking about today, to be able to lean in, to learn the brain science of resilience, of courage, of pivoting in the moment. So step one is you got to rise. You got to decide in advance, and I've said it 3 times. That's going to be the title of the new free mini course that I'm going to be delivering live, and then we'll have a page that you can go get all the replays. But so check your email, and if you're not on our email list, then you go over to drshannonirvine.com and get on our email list so that you can get access to this series, because I'm creating it on the fly for you to meet you where you're at, so that you can rise, pivot, and start, so that you can really have the resilience to build your future now. And so really deciding in advance is that rising. It's looking in your business and saying, what does my business, my people, what do my people? Now, businesses, we sometimes as entrepreneurs say, what does my business need? What do I need? No, I'm talking, what do your people need right now? Meet them where they're at. Be the leader. Rise and be the leader. Step up. Stop shrinking back. I wanted to shrink back, y'all. I was like, oh, I just want to I've got my kids at home. I'm just going to curl in a ball. And then God said, no, you rise. For such a time as this, it's time for you to rise. What do your people need? What do your people need? What do they need from you in your particular genre? Are your people scared? Meet them there. Coach them through it. Coaches, if you're thinking about becoming a coach, or you are a coach, or you're in the neurocoaching certification, and this is the path that you've chosen for your entrepreneurial journey, they need you. So lean in and rise. So step one, rise. What do you decide in advance that you want? Choose it. Choose what you're going to, now, if you're going to choose fear, then choose that. But I hope you don't. I hope you just face everything and rise, right? And that's where, I'm fear, face everything and rise. Fear, face everything and rise. We've got to rise. We've got to stand in the gap, because there will be voices drowning out saying, fear, be afraid, be afraid. What do your people need? Do they need business advice? Do they need to understand how to navigate a changing economy? That's what we're going to be talking about in this Rise Free event. We're going to be talking about resiliency, courage, and pivoting. So I really want you, step one, to rise. Rise for yourself, decide in advance, rise for your tribe. even if your tribe is a tribe of one or two. So please, if you're sitting here saying, Shannon, I only have a teeny list, I don't really have a voice, for such a time as this, what is your niche? I'll gladly work with you just a little bit to say, hey, step into this, but please do this. Do not be the person that drowns in or just blends in with the rest of the crowd. Have an opinion. I'm having an opinion today. It's probably, there's probably people that I'm going to get mail from that's saying like, you're being insensitive. You're telling people to go rise and to go, they're feeling fear. Yes. Face everything. Face it and rise. Like fear, we were not given a spirit of fear. We were given a spirit of a strong mind. And as entrepreneurs, you chose this path. This path is a path of self-leadership and leadership to the public, right? So right now, standing up and saying, I am creating a safe place for you to talk. I'm creating a safe place. Come on this Zoom, give them a Zoom link and lean into them. Say, this is the time that you rise. Like, please don't be neutral right now. Neutral is going to be forgotten. Take the opinions that you're saying already to yourself that you haven't publicly said. And now is the time to get out and serve. And it's funny when we serve, when we're generous, when we really lean into that generosity, the fear and the things that we're dealing with kind of disappear, because the reality is this will pass, and those who will be surviving on the other side as entrepreneurs are the ones that are standing up, standing in the gap, rising and meeting their clients, meeting their tribe, their people right where they need it most. It's not that you're not going to be afraid. It's that you're going to put others first and you're going to lean in and help them rise, and you'll rise with them. It's a huge opportunity for you. You've got every business mom at home right now going, oh my gosh, what do I do? My whole world's upside down. What is your thought about that? Are their lives upside down? Should they throw in the towel? Should they hit pause? I don't think so. So, but decide. So what do you stand for? Like, this is the time for us as entrepreneurs to say, this is what I stand for. Now, luckily for me, I've been standing on this for a very long time. This is my passion, to help you train your brain to transform your business. If you're not doing the mind work, if you're not doing the brain work right now, with resilience, yes, it is prophetic, totally. Like, resilience is so key right now, and speaking into people's lives is so vital right now. This is the time to get on the Superwoman or Superman cape and say, not that I'm here to save you, but I'm here to show you the leadership that you can follow. I'm here to be that place for you. And if you don't have a community that you're doing the mental work with, don't do it alone. Like the Epic Success Tribe and the Neuro Coaching Tribe, if you're a coach and you want to get certified, I'm not pitching. I am saying with every inch of my heart that if you're not in the work, I want you in the tribe, because this is the place where you need a tribe around you to build you up so you can build your tribe up. We rise together. So much of my success, I've risen because of people pushing me. Do you know what I'm saying? And 90% of the work is not a strategy. It's not a set. It is what you do between these two walls right here. So rise is number one. Number two is pivot. Right now, I think now a lot of you want to become six-figure entrepreneurs, right? A lot of you really do want to learn the mental secrets to do that. But if I were to launch right now and say, learn to think like, learn the fast track to six figures and all the secrets that seven-figure entrepreneurs already know, the tactics, like if I was to start marketing that would so not be in alignment with what's going on for my tribe right now, right? So we were literally gearing up for that. It is a powerful event. It will come back in the future, but right now that's not what we're going to do. So number two is pivot. If you have to decide in advance first, because if you're looking at pivoting or what do I do without deciding in advance, deciding what you stand for, deciding what you will and will not think and choose in advance to be the creator of your thoughts. If that step isn't done, then pivoting is just a mess. Pivoting is going to be something that you do out of fear and confusion, not out of inspiration. I want you to pivot out of inspiration. Everything that you need is inside you. That's what I tell my tribe all the time. You just need the system and the tools to tap into it, right? So that being the case, once you've done the rising, once you've actually gone through and decided in advance, I really want you to start like creatively thinking, what do my people need? Do I need to pivot, or do I need to stay the course? Do I need to pivot to serve people differently in this season? And how do they best need to be served? So see, these are questions that create inspiration. These are questions that create just the greatest, your best and biggest program might come out of this season. And imagine if you stayed curled up in a ball like I wanted to over the weekend, but I didn't. Imagine if that's the case. Like pressure. Where did I read? I think it was like during a quarantine in the 19th century that Newton's law of physics was created. Like he slowed down long enough to be observant of what's going on. So pivoting very much has to be with observance, right? You have to observe what's going on. You have to get intuitive about what your people need. And then really, really take a voice, take a decision, and do you change the thoughts or not? Do you move or not? Like, decide this. And here's what you're going to know. Like, if you take a stand, we're talking about rising, right? If you take that stand and you take the stand again tomorrow and you take a stand again tomorrow, the biggest pivot that you can do right now is to show up every day for your tribe and take their temperature and speak into what they need. If it's one person, if it's 100,000 people, it does not matter. Show up for them. Pivot in that way. Like pivot in the ways that are going to make differences for your future now. Not showing up isn't going to do that. Not having an actual opinion isn't going to do that. So pivot is about you pivoting into the better version of yourself. You pivot, you looking at your tribe. Is there a pivot? So for me, to me, this is not a pivot. To me, this is a different lens of the same work that I get to do every single day, which I'm so blessed to do, because helping you train your mind to transform your business, to get resilience, to get courage, to get out of the fear, to get rid of overwhelm, to get rid of procrastination, and finally step into that beautiful calling that you know you are meant to, that impact and that income and the freedom that you're looking for, is what I get to do every day. Times like this heighten our desire and our need to do things differently. So pivot is become the leader for yourself, right? Pivot, become the better version of yourself today. Like for not just, I'm going to eat better. Yes, please eat really well right now. Yes, please do all those things. And pivot for your community. How about using this time to step in to the version of yourself that you've been hiding from? That pivot alone will catapult your future right now, right here, amidst everything else. So rise first, pivot. And then the last one is just start. I really just want you to start. Create 10 things that you want to do, like a list of 10 things that you know that would positively impact your tribe. And look through the 10, pick the one, use your opinionated voice, and just start. Just start. So that's what I have for you today. I really feel strongly that I want to call you out as a big sister, as a friend. I want to call you out. I know you're afraid. I know you're afraid. I know this is really uncomfortable. I totally get it, and I'm right there with you. And rise, pivot, and start. All right. If you're not on the list, make sure you get on it, because we will be announcing that Rise Free mini course that is going to be done over the month of March through April, where we're going to really get trained up in the way that we can use our brain as a superpower for resilience, for courage, for up-leveling and uncertainty, and for creating your future now. If you are someone who is sitting here listening, if you're taking this challenge, if you're really taking it, Use the time, use the extra time to lean into the God-given gifts God has given you, the voice God has given you, the leadership God has given you, and to truly start to create the energy and the momentum towards your future now. So as we wrap up today, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I love you to the depths of my being, and I know your stage, your platform is waiting for you to rise, and for you to pivot into that best version of yourself, and for you to start. Use today, use the inspiration, but I don't want to just be inspirational. I want to inspire you to action, because without action, without action, we perish, right? Check your emails. Make sure you're getting my emails so that you get access to this free live event that we're going to be doing, and I will see you again soon.